doing? How you doing? How you doing? Sunday night, post Patty's Day. Patty's Day was Friday, and I used to be a bouncer at one of the Irish pubs around here, and even like actually when I was still in the military, I actually took a day off of work because it was a leave day, so I took a day of leave, and then I would get ready for it. And I would get paid under the table like about what, $400 or so. But it was wow, it was such a pain in the butt because you know all of these people on St. Patrick's Day and also on Cinco de Mayo. It's like unofficial drinking day or officially unofficial. And there are people that just do not know how to handle alcohol. So on St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo, and of course on New Year's Eve, as I've gotten older, and I guess I am that, that get off my lawn type of people. There's just, I just can't deal with it. So, but I did get a chance to wear this shirt and this hat on Friday to work because you got to wear green. And it was either this, which I definitively prefer. This is a Reggie Jackson, Reggie Jackson era A's jersey. The hat, the green's a little darker. I think it's like it's an '80s era A's hat. I think it's a starter. Starter? Yeah, it's a starter. But I didn't realize my hair was not screwed up. Oh well, that's why you wear hats. But I've had a good weekend. I told you this I think on Thursday that I was going to be heading over to Orlando on Saturday, and so I went over to Orlando, got some really good parking uh, for the event. How much was it? Yeah, it was $30. But it was right outside the arena. So we go in there, uh, went to see the games, and if you haven't watched my little halftime, I did like little halftime shows. First game was San Diego State um, playing, was it the Paladins of Furman, and Furman, was one of those surprise teams. It wasn't a 116 because that was, Farley Dickinson with beating uh, Purdue. And yeah, people were asking me, so who's going to be in the final two? I said, I'll go Purdue and Alabama. That was way late. But I don't consider myself a an aficionado. I love to watch the games when I can. I don't watch all of them, but I did watch those games in Orlando, which is nicer when you watch them live. And San Diego State was just all over. Pardon me. So much more talent than Furman, and people in the crowds going, "Hey, f you!" This is Roku, which does not mean something, you know, bad. Furman University, f you. It was fun. then we go and get some food, like in between the games, and it's, the burger was okay. It's a burger you get at a sporting event. It's not the greatest, but it's edible. And so I bought a burger and a combo, and I said I just want a hot dog. So buy the hot dog, just the hot dog, extra, no extra fries, no extra Coke or whatever. And they don't have any hot dogs. So I paid for it. So I they gave me like some chicken nuggets, which were okay. More French fries, they were okay. But it was cool because you get a chance to watch the games. In the second game, the Tennessee Duke game, which obviously, 4 and 5 playing each other, was, very competitive and very much, obviously, the premier game. Tennessee just outclassed them. I did the stats. I mean, they won like all the stats at halftime, and they just continued to wax Duke. And again, this was Duke's first year without Krzyzewski in the tournament, so I mean, it was strange to watch it, but did that, watched the games, left, saw my buddy who was checking out my old Raider truck because we're going to repaint it. And then I went to, and if you're ever in Orlando, you want some really awesome steak, but you better bring a bunch of money with you. I think his name is Kirstner's Steak and Lobster Place. I mean, it was the steaks were just awesome, but pricey as hell. But you get what you pay for, so I enjoyed mine. It was an excellent steak. And, my son came over from Melbourne, so he only had to drive an hour, so we basically meeting him in the middle. So took Robert out for steak, and we had like the big family style vegetables. It was like lobster mac and cheese and some whipped mashed potatoes with some of the potato outsides on it, some mushrooms, and what else? There was some spinach, and the calamari and a crab cake. It was just wonderful, wonderful. But let's put it this way: the waiter himself got $100 tip. Because again, I'm an old waiter. The waiter himself got $100 tip. That'll tell you about how much the meal was. But it was just wonderful. So yeah, I wholeheartedly will endorse. I have to look it up. Christners. Let's see. Christners. Yeah, Christners. Prime steak and lobster. Lee Road in Orlando. Christners. Go and get yourself some great steak. And I've been to Byrne Steakhouse, which is the reason why the NFL was in Tampa, because the commissioner loved going to Byrne Steakhouse before Tampa had a team, and he said, we need to come here more often. Georgia Patriot, permission to come aboard. Granted, sir. Good to see you. 808 Split Mode's in here as well. So is Matt Marinovich. Gabe is in here. Just let you know the buzzing sound is going. I can't do anything about it. I don't know my one thing. It's and I can't hear it because I have tinnitus. I can't. I don't know how to buzzing sound. Well, sorry. I mean, I can try. Let's see here. Go to maybe I'd go to this device. Okay, did that make it better? I put it onto the speakers over there. Is that better? Does that make the buzzing sound lighter? Because remember, I got to be able to hear you too. So let me know if the buzzing sound went away, if it got worse. I do have a board, like I was in a soundboard. Okay, let's see here. I can almost guarantee you that. Let's see, I put that down to the maxes there. Put this on here. Let's turn this on. Okay. Better? Okay. Okay, now I'm going to try that. Now I'm going to try this. Okay, I'm going to go to the big soundboard. Okay. You see, I can hear that buzzing. Hear the buzzing. Okay, can you hear it? Can you hear buzzing there? Can you hear buzzing there? That's the better speaker. Oh, I need to turn my phone. That's worse. Okay, well. Okay, I'm turning that off. Turning that off. Okay, well, best I can do. Yeah, okay. So I guess the sound that in order to know buzzing, it's got to be going out of that speaker. I will see if I can hear you, but best I can do. So I hope I helped. It's a lazy Sunday. It is. It's a lazy Sunday. At least last Sunday we had on the was it the movie awards, the Oscars. So I was watching the Oscars. There ain't dick on TV right now, really, which is upsetting. But really, I look around. I'm watching. Because I think like Bob's Burgers is on. Um, Good evening, everybody. I am recording Magnum PI and the Blacklist, the last year of the Blacklist. I don't know if there's any hockey on. I'll go see. I think the Flyers lost last night, 5-4 to somebody. I don't know who it was. Just remember that they lost. I don't have the NBA package because honestly, like I said, anytime I want to watch the NBA, it'll be later in the season. Preds at Rangers is playing. Devils at Lightning. Okay, put that on. That'll be out until 10. So yeah, we'll put that on as like some background noise. Not really noise. Devils are winning 3-2 right now. So I'll at least keep you updated as I see things go on. So there it is. There you go. So there is our sports for Sunday. 12 minutes and 5 seconds left in the third period. Devils with 31 shots on goal, leading the Lightning 3-2. Lightning has 21 shots on goal. There, you're updated. But other than that, really, is there anything really going on? No, not really. So if we are going to talk whatever, we'll talk. Hey, we'll talk weather. Yeah, we'll talk weather. Georgia saying there's freeze warnings. It was cold today, Georgia. I think it was like in the 50s, which I know is not really cold, but for Florida it was cold in the 50s. Tomorrow I think it's going to be in the 60s to 70s. I think the morning's going to be in the 60s. I think the afternoon will get up into like the high 70s, mid to high 70s. I'm not a weather guy, but I think that's what it is. But yeah, there's it's cold today, and there's this big push. The weather from uh, out west and up to the northeast, and so it's going through the south. So just stay warm. So we can talk about the weather. We can talk about the movies. Has anybody seen any of the movies yet from last Sunday? I have. Again, I went over and watched the NCAAs and had a great steak. Today I putzed around the house. I am finally got off my procrastination thing. By the way, Devils just scored again. So now they're up 42. Oh, and they're beating what is it? The Russian goalie of the Lightning, one of the better ones. Val Vasilevsky. I almost said Hobby Bullet, but that was the goalie when the Lightning won their first Stanley Cup. What was it? Oh, it was a wrist shot. Yeah, it was a wrist shot. Just guess he was screened. It went right 5-hole. 5-hole wrist shot. Yeah, that's why spring training's in Florida and out in Arizona. But I'm ready for baseball. I think next weekend I go to my last Phillies game. I think it's next Saturday. So it's the 19th, 20, 21, 22. So on the 25th, I think I go to the Phillies in Clearwater. So on Saturday, I will be doing kind of like what I did the other day. Yesterday, I'll be doing, or it's Sunday. It might be Sunday. I'll have to see. But that's what I got. I got one more spring training game to go, and then the following week it'll be the regular season. And I don't think it because sometimes the Raiders, sorry, baseball opens up and there's still people. It's still snowing. And I appreciate this. See, this is why I have the show. You guys tell me, and I tell you. Raiders scouts said the Raiders are talking to half a dozen defensive free agents. No deals yet. And this is like the lull, right? Because all of the ones that have been signed off the bat were like, bam, big names, gotta haves, big name guys. But then it kind of slows down, and this is where you get your bang for the buck. This is where you get your bang for the buck. Gotta wait in the end of the first wave, because this is the end of the first wave, then the second wave, the third wave. This is where you get your bang for the buck, and we'll see what happens. Hi, Neil. Good to see you. Come on in. The longer they wait, the lower the price. Exactly. It's a waiting game. And they did officially sign Marcus Epps, and he stated that the reason that he went with the Raiders was because the Raiders they were just all over him and made him made him feel the most wanted and critical, and that's why he went and signed with the Vegas Raiders. So then it's going to be who signs whom, for what price, and who really wants them. And that's the waiting game. And Gabe, being the astute young gentleman, Gabe has some intelligence. I'll give him that. Doesn't have life experience though. But if he tells you he does, then he's full of crap. But he does have some knowledge. So I'll give him that as well. But yeah, you get your best deals in like the second and third tier. Get your best deals. Because the first wave is just, gotta have them, and you're gonna put the signing on them. That's what you get. And I like what Jimmy Garoppolo had to say, but my money is on, not my money, but my emphasis is on who is the Raiders' backups, right? And I saw that the Raiders have had Blaine Gabbert in for discussion. Because remember when I was asking you about who's going to be the backup quarterback? And I told you it's not going to be the draftee. It's not going to be the draftee. It's not. They're going to have a quarterback who is experienced. And 11-year pro Blaine Gabbert was in talks, allegedly, with the Raiders. He doesn't suck. He'd be a good backup. It's how you know the system, and he does not know the system. Big deals all night announcement, yeah. Would like to see it, and Matt was saying this, and I agree with that. Free agent, tight end, defensive tackle, and quarterback. And I think, Matt, you're going to get all three of them. There will be people signed on all three of those fronts. So we're going to get a tight end because we traded away Waller. I think the Billings went back to the Bears. If I remember seeing that right, we signed him to like a 1-year deal, and then like after that, he's back with the Bears. And cornerback, like I said, there's going to be a free agent cornerback come in. So Matt, I think you're gonna get all that you want. Yeah, Gabbert backed up here. Yeah, but remember, it was Brady running a system, but I don't know if he was running his own system or if he ran like a version of the McDaniel system. I know that his offensive coordinator was fired, Byron Leftwich, after the season because they didn't do as well. Can Gabbert be the guy? I don't know, but I wouldn't be upset with that. I wouldn't be upset with that, but because that's what your backup quarterback has to be. He's got to be plug and play. Just get him off the bench and say, go in and play. And Blaine Gabbert could be that guy. $13. Oh, Ed, good to see you. Think we draft a quarterback? Yeah. We're gonna draft one, and this is my second big announcement. Okay, is Hollywood is in Vegas the last couple days, and he said that the news out in Vegas is that the Raiders are going to trade up in the draft. They're going to trade up. I don't think that. I mean, unless they trade up to one, they're somebody. They're not going to get the primo guy. I think they said that they were looking at trading up to 3, and this is what was upsetting me. This is what is upsetting me. Is that they say that McDaniels likes Will Levis. I'm like, really? Trading up to 3 for Will Levis? I'm like, really? Man, I hope this is all bullcrap. I hope it's all bullcrap. Because if I'm trading up to 3, I want to get the best defensive guy possible. That's just me. If I'm trading up to 3, I want to get the best defensive guy possible. So Gardner Johnson just signed with the Lions. I did not get that. Thanks for that news, Gabe. Georgia says this draft class is loaded with quality tight ends that I knew about, corners and linebackers, which is good because those are all 3 positions that we need. And we did re-sign Jermaine Illuminor at right tackle. They re-signed Brandon Parker, who I'm not really a big fan of. We do have Mumford on the team, who was playing swing tackle last year, primarily extra tight end tackle. I think eventually he's going to be the right tackle, unless Illuminor just puts him away. But we got our offensive line. We're gonna draft some people, but we got our offensive line. Although I really think that Parham is going to be moving to center. Now, would our starting center make a better guard than center? Maybe they might move them. I do know that they cut the long snapper, Trent Sieg, because they signed another guy on a 2-year contract with for more money. Excuse me, I apologize. I didn't catch his name, but they signed a long snapper to a 2-year deal and cut Trent Sieg. So that's news. Any of the top 3 quarterbacks will be a win for us. Yeah, but who's the top 3? If you're saying that the top 3 quarterbacks are Stroud and Bryce, Bryce Howard? Bryce whatever. I always forget his last name. But who's the 3rd? Is it Richardson? Is it Levis? I still don't, basically, Bryce is a talented quarterback, but he's brittle. He's small. I think that Stroud's going to be the best of the quarterbacks that get drafted in the first round, but he might not be the best quarterback drafted this class. Draft class has some great tight ends. Yeah, I know. Hey, gotta love those tight ends, baby. Yeah, Bryce Young. Yeah, that's his name. No, I think he's brittle. I think he's brittle. But I hope and pray, and I will be in Kansas City for the first round of the draft. Actually, I'll be in Kansas City for the entire draft. But the first round, I hope that we don't take a quarterback with the first pick that we have. I hope. And Matt Marinovich, we did sign Moody, who is that really humongous guard that we got from the Broncos organization. We re-signed him. Maybe he is the answer. Maybe he is the answer. But we'll find out. If you want to come in, like I said, please come in. I will put the link up here. Jalen Carter to trade up to the third pick. See, I wouldn't mind that if you're going to trade up for Jalen Carter, Spliff. I agree. And see, I'm going to put this. This is what I want to do. And Georgia Patriot is saying in my mind what I want to do. Trade back at 7 for some more picks. Because again, we already stated that this draft class has a lot of talent at tight end, a lot of talent at cornerback, a lot of talent at linebacker, right? Get more picks. Get more picks. That's where I think your money should go. If the Raiders take an offensive lineman, would you be disappointed? That's from Cool Kev. No, I wouldn't be disappointed. But make sure that he has the measurables. Like I said, they were talking about this kid at tackle who has short arms, and I don't want him. I don't want that kid. At the 7th pick, yes, I'll be disappointed at the 7th pick. Yes, I will be disappointed if we take an offensive lineman at the 7th pick. Yes, I think that we need to take somebody that is name. You know who that name is at 7, or you trade back. There's the link. Trade back. It's from the 7th pick. Get more picks. And I thank you for watching. I say, yeah, unless Carter's there. If Carter's there, you run to the podium and get Carter at 7. If Carter's there. If you like what you see what you like, please share, please like. And please make comments after the show. I think that I'm still about 20 away from 2,000 subscribers. I think I'm about 20 away from 2,000 subscribers. And just like Georgia said, unless Carter is still there at 7 and get Carter like your life depends on it, I agree. The kid had a crappy pro day, but you know what? Oh well. I see what I see on game tape, and he performs on game tape. And maybe Georgia will come in, and maybe he'll talk about Carter because, Georgia is down there, and he's seen plenty of UGA guys. Plenty of UGA. And remember last year, everyone was talking about Davis. And, but the other kid was probably like a better pick. We'll talk about that. If the Raiders draft Carter, they trade him like Eli Manning? I don't know. I don't think so, Kev. I think if you're going to grab Carter, unless you covet somebody a lot, but no, grab Carter. Get Carter. Mike Sarah agrees, and I agree. Okay, we're going to turn it over. We're going to bring Gabe in here. So, Mike, be nice, Mike. Be nice. Oh, my God, the Devils scored again. That dude is fat. Oh my God, I do not feel bad about being overweight now because I do not. This guy looked like a beached whale. He was in the stands. He was in the stands, and he looked like a beached effing whale. Oh, no wonder it was an empty neck goal. Okay, that makes sense. Now, here's the thing, and Ed brought it up, and I will go. I will do this. I heard we're moving to three to pick Stroud. Carolina at one is picking Richardson. That's Richardson's gonna bust. Richardson is going to be the greatest incarnation of Jabustus. I really think so. The latest incarnation of Jabustus, Russell. But if Richardson goes one and Houston picks Bryce Young at two, and the Raiders go up to three, okay, yeah, then I get Stroud. Then I'd get Stroud. But to move up to three to get Will Levis? No way. Go up to three to get. You better get Stroud or Carter at three if you move up to three. And Georgia, you can call later on, maybe. We're gonna get Dave in here. We'll see what he's got. Gabe, I'm letting you in.
What's up, Captain? How you doing tonight?
What you got going on tonight?
Nothing much. I'm kind of just, chilling. We're through the first wave, or the first, yeah, I'd say the first wave of free agency. Giants made some good quality signings. They upgrade the wide receiver position with Paris Campbell and Darren Waller, who, yes, he's a tight end, but he's a receiving threat, really, is what he is. He's not much of a blocker. You do not want to ask him to block at all. Um, but he's. I think the Giants have made put themselves in a position to not be forced to draft a wide receiver in the first round. So, um, they also re-signed Darius Slayton to a 2-year deal, and he actually took cheap. He took less to come back than to go to Atlanta. The rumor is that he had a bigger deal on the table with the Falcons, and he took the Giants deal instead. So uh, definitely feel like uh, Joe Shane and Brian Dable are building a culture that people want to come to. Um, because I mean, the beat reporters, like the Giants reporters, are saying, like Paris Campbell, he took like somewhat of a cheaper deal than he probably could have got somewhere else. I mean, he did. I think it's like a minimum deal, but there's incentives to get it up to. I believe the max he can get it up to is 7 million, but he has to reach like 700 yards, and then there's a per game bonus because the biggest concern with him is his injuries. This past year he played a full 17 game season, but of course the past 3 years before then he had a lot of injury concerns. Now he claims they were like freak accidents, which you can argue, but at the same time you don't get injured 3 years in a row by accident. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, but um, the Giants were smart with that signing because let's say it all does go to hell, he only gets 2 million of it, and we get credit back for next year's cap. I mean, that's the number against the cap for him is like I believe 4.7 million. So how it works is there's likely to be earned incentives, and then there's not likely to be earned incentives. So likely are in this year's cap, and then if he hits any of the not likely, they'll be in next year's cap. Um, so we'll see that. But like you were saying, this is when you kind of get this wave is kind of when you get steals. Players start to become not patient. They become you know. And we just saw, I think, the first deal that kind of was a bad deal with C.J. Gardner Johnson. He just signed a 1 year, $8 million deal. I mean, I understand that the safety market's pretty low right now. However, I think he could have got a multi-year deal to give him more stability somewhere else. But I don't. I guess he must really like what the Lions have. I think the Lions are a really young and upcoming team, so maybe he just sees that and he likes what they have over there. But I don't know. I think he could have got more somewhere else, Captain. I
Well,
do.
here's like you said. I think it's one of those. You know how teams sign players for like 1 year prove it deals. I
But
think that
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that he signed with the Lions on to the Lions prove it
But here's
because
the thing: is like for me, this past year was kind of like he was on a 1 year deal. He was on a expiring contract this past year, and he balled out. He led the league in interceptions as a safety. I
yeah.
mean,
What I'm saying is that he might say, I think that Detroit is an up and coming team
yeah,
that should make the playoffs, but I'm not willing to hitch my wagon on a 3 year deal with them. How
mm,
about I sign a 1 year deal at a decent price,
yeah,
and then if I like what I see, or if I mesh well, then I can go. If I like what I see, then yeah, I can maybe then I can re up with them at a longer contract
yeah,
if
yeah.
they
I get what you
think
mean.
they're getting better.
Yeah, it gives him the flexibility to, if things don't go well in Detroit, he can hit the market again. Um, and hold up, put Cool Kev's comment back up again.
But yeah, Cat. He says that Paris Campbell's a number 3 receiver. Your thoughts on that?
Guess what, Cool Kev? That's all we signed him for it to be. That's what we signed him to be. So, joke's on you. I mean, that's what we signed him to be. I mean, he's gonna be our number. He might even be our number 4. He's more of a. He's a decent. What he's gonna be is he's gonna be a player that's gonna be a good. He might start week 1 just because we have a lot of players coming back from injury, specifically in the slot. We have Sterling Shepard and the rookie this past year, Wandale Robinson. They both play the slot, and they're coming off of ACL tears. So we don't really know. Sterling Shepard should be back in the beginning of the year. We just don't know if he'll be ready for week 1 or not. So maybe he starts the slot week 1, but other than that, he's kind of just a depth signing. Dable likes to rotate his wide receivers a lot. So he's also, that's why he's kind of building a roster with a lot of depth pieces. Right now, like Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins, and Darius Slayton will probably split reps at the second receiver. The first receiver is kind of in question right now. I think we'll draft one, whether it's in the first round with a Jordan Addison or a you know, Zay Flowers. I don't like them that much. I don't think they're as great as people are hyping them up, but it could be something Dable likes. Or whether it's dressing in the second round, in the second round with Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee. So he's I like him. He's a true X receiver, which is what the Giants need, and I think that's what they're looking for. Something that came up, which is really interesting to me, is the Giants really wanted Jerry Jeudy. I mean, they were in on Jerry Jeudy. They were all in. Dable, Shane, they wanted him. Dable had him at Alabama when he was the OC at Alabama, and he wanted. They tried to trade for him at the deadline, and they did not. They didn't want to trade him at the deadline in the season. I think they want a first round pick, and the Giants were like, "Heck no, never, no, we are never, no, no, no." And then I think they circled back with them and tried to trade for him again, and they were still demanding that first round pick for him. And then the Giants just I think they went to the Raiders and traded for Darren Waller, which was a way better or a lower risk kind of trade than what a Jerry Jeudy trade would be. But yeah, and the Giants also addressed one of their biggest weaknesses this past year was their run defense. I believe they had the second worst run defense in the NFL. It was horrendous, and it wasn't because of our starting D line. It was an effort from everyone. So the linebackers were terrible. We had Jalen Smith starting. It was a rotating core. We had Tate Crowder, Mr. Irrelevant, starting at one point. So it was a very rotational thing in the linebacker core, and we didn't really have a starter there. But we addressed that with Bobby Okereke from the Colts. We addressed the linebacker position. I think we'll sign another linebacker or draft one. I like Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. He is a really good linebacker. I mean, he will be very good in the NFL. I think whoever gets him, they're getting a starting caliber star linebacker in the draft. But I think,
but I'm gonna let it go into the next caller, because even though I got Raphael on and nobody else, I don't want to have because I've given you 10 minutes.
That's fair. That's fair. I get it.
Talking about the Giants, and
I'm not trying to be the next Ruben over here. I'm good.
Yeah, no. God forbid. God forbid. But,
I do want to say though, for my closing thing though, for my question for you is out the door is, how on a rate of 1 to 10, how mad would you be if the Raiders did trade up to like 3, and then they drafted Will Levis?
Oh, I would be hot pissed, like volcanically pissed.
Raiders.
If they trade up to 3 and they don't get Carter, and like I said, if Stroud and Bryce, whatever his name, is gone, and
I think those are the top 2 picks. I think Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud will be gone. I think that's
right. But see, if they trade up to 3, that's why I might want to wait to see who goes 1.
I think it's going to be C.J. Stroud. I think it really is.
Okay, well, the point is that I'd wait to see who goes 1 and who goes 2, and then if the guy that you want is still there at 3, that's when you go up and get him at 3. But honestly, if all of these quarterbacks are going to be running, are gone. Let's say that they're the first 4 picks. The first 4 picks are quarterbacks. Let's just say that, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Then you got all these defensive guys like Will Anderson and Carter. That's going to be like 4, so 5 and 6. You got Will Anderson and Carter, right?
Yep.
Who's the third guy that is the one that everybody's talking about behind Will Anderson and Carter? What, Miles Murphy maybe?
Everyone likes the Oregon cornerback, but are you talking about D-line wise?
No, I'm just saying that because, like I said, there's the Oregon cornerback. Yeah. There's the Illinois cornerback. I think his name is I can't remember but there's an Illinois cornerback. There's an Oregon cornerback. There's Porter from Penn State.
Christian Gonzaga is out of Oregon, and I think it's Witherspoon out of Illinois.
Yeah, Witherspoon. There you go. So you got Gonzalez and Witherspoon, right? You got Porter. You got Porter from Penn State. And,
I think he'll be the third cornerback off the board. Yeah.
But that's why I said you don't need him at 7. You can trade back and get more picks.
I think that would be the best idea for the Raiders, because first of all, I don't think this quarterback class is all that. I think Stroud's going to be the only legit one out of the whole class, or the only one that shows legitness his first year, at least. Bryce Young might be good. You never know. But rookie quarterbacks are just a whole project, in my opinion. They are.
And you know what? I don't want them in the first round. Hey, Gabe, thanks again, partner. We'll see you up on the next show, partner.
Yep, see you, Captain.
All right, that's Gabe. And that was nice, Mike. Didn't say a lot of crap about Gabe. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Hey, Captain Jack. Oh, sorry about that.
No, no, no. I did give you a lot of lead time. You were ready, but not not ready, ready.
Oh
Uh,
yes, I'm just already because last night between Venezuela versus United States was like wow, pretty much amazing. And the batting, the patching was very similar, was very powerful. But I thought that Venezuela could be like really powerful. But I just saw like the change of pitching between Jose Quijada and Silvino Bracho. That started getting ball between the Grand Slam of Tria Turner. And that was like, wow, this is really amazing. But I'm proud of that because at first, someone like some rumors that they say like the Venezuela didn't have a chance for the World Baseball Classic since 2017. But right now, Venezuela just got a lot of good things, which is 4 games that we just won and we just went undefeated. But the only loss was in United States with the quarterfinals. But that was a good game.
so, but for those that didn't see it, now who did they? So Venezuela beat the United States last night.
Okay, so that was in the beginning right here because I thought that my top five will be Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and United States.
Right.
So Dominican Republic was eliminated. Also, Puerto Rico's eliminated, and Venezuela's got eliminated. But right now, let's see the semifinals. The United States could be repeating again at the World Baseball Classic after after they go because I remember that Japan just won 2 times championship between 2006 and 2009. Now it's gonna be like a similar like at the deja vu because United States just won in 2017. Now it seems like very different because right now they're just beating against Cuba. And right now they seems like they have another 2 teams which is on the line, which is another semifinal, which is totally perfect, which means between Mexico and Japan.
Okay, so we're down to the quarters or the semis.
The semifinals.
Okay, so tell me who's in the semis.
They're in the semifinals, Cuba, United States, Mexico, and Japan.
Wow. So the only team that you and again, I'm not saying you're. Trust me. You said Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and the
And
United
United
States. And the
States,
only
yes.
person that came out of that group is the U.S.
Hmm.
Okay. So now you said Mexico and Japan,
Yep.
the U.S. and
And
who's the fourth?
Cuba.
And
Cuba.
Cuba. Wow. Okay. So I'm laying it on you because you are the expert World Baseball Classic. So those are the semis.
Yes. Yes, they are in the semis, yes.
Who is the final two and who wins?
Oh, for the final two, this is gonna be like really epic. But I think that the finals is gonna be United States versus Japan.
Okay, okay. U.S. versus Japan. So you say Japan beats Mexico. I can see that.
Yeah.
Mexico's played. There's been a lot of good players on the Mexican team. Yeah,
Including
I can see
Randy. Hmm.
Japan, and obviously you say the United States beats Cuba. I think that's going to be a tougher game.
Yep, it is.
Okay, so Mike Sarah says USA is beating Cuba. We beat Venezuela. Okay, so
Yep.
is that right now, Mike? Am I missing the game?
No, you're not missing the game because right now there seems they have it in the 7th inning, but right now it's beating up. Yes.
Okay, what channel is that on?
Well, it's on Fox. It's on Fox, and of course it's FC1.
Okay, so that I'm trying to find FX1. I think that.
Yeah, yeah, because a lot of channels they have with the March Madness on TBS, but also in Fox Sports they have the War Baseball Classic. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got Yes Network, MSG. Uh, does anybody know what it's on DirecTV? Trying to find it. I don't. Okay, I'm trying to find FX1. I'm in the 600s. I don't think it's the five. No, the 500s are like the HBO channels. Trying to
Mhm.
find FX.
Oh, it's FX1, Fox Sports 1.
Right, I'm trying to figure out what channel that is. Maybe it's the
Mm,
200s.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see here, 200s. I'm going through the my guide. Okay, Trey Turner hit a grand slam. Right, Fox Sports One. I'm trying to find Fox Sports One. Oh, okay, here we go. It's 219. So right now, Cuba's playing the United States. It is. I just got it. Wow, USA is whooping them, 13 to
Yep,
2.
it is. Yep,
And Schwarber's playing, so that's another reason why the Phillies have lost a couple games. Is
exactly.
Schwarber and Turner haven't been playing, so and it's the bot. Are these 9 inning games? Are they? So it's like a regulation 9 inning games.
Oh yes, they're gonna rendition the games. Yes, and they
Oh,
have to the six innings. Yes.
okay, yeah, this is the bottom. So yeah, unless just the bottom drops out,
Uh huh.
USA should beat Cuba. So yeah, so USA is going to be in the finals against you're saying Japan.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I got it on because the Lightning got eliminated, or I should
Yes.
say eliminated that got beat. So good. I'll watch some baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Schwarber, the high pop to the left fielder. Oh, and they run into each other.
Exactly.
And is the other guy hurt? I think it's the third baseman. Yeah, he took a
Yeah, it
a
happens.
tumble. He's not
Yeah.
getting back up quickly.
Yeah, it happens. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there.
Yep.
So yeah, so Schwarber pops out the left, but at the end of the sixth, so there's Trey Turner who's playing well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so and Richie Richey, welcome, hello to all your wimps.
Yep.
Richie Richey saying that everybody's wimps,
Hello,
friggin'
Richie.
friggin' American baseball. It's not American baseball players; it's Cuban.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, so you're now you think that USA is going to win overall then if they're going to beat Japan is what you're saying.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna now. When is that game, Raphael? Is that like Monday or Tuesday or
Oh, it's gonna be on Tuesday. It's
Tuesday?
gonna yes. It's
Okay.
gonna be on Tuesday.
Well, then I'll watch it. I mean, I
Yep.
don't have a show. Maybe I'll do a broadcast
Okay.
watching the game. I'm not promising.
Oh.
I'm not. In fact, let me see here. Let me go through the guide. Let me see here. If I go through, okay. So that it's a rerun at 10:30. So right now, I'm going to go through the guide here. So let's go Tuesday. World Baseball post game wrap up at the World Baseball. Okay, so they're saying it's not Monday. Okay, so Tuesday. Yeah, so Tuesday at let's see when it starts here.
It starts at 7 p.m.
7 o'clock. Okay, so Tuesday at 7. Maybe I'll do a show Tuesday at 7. All right, Raphael, I appreciate that, and because again, hey, 1 out of 4 ain't bad. Because again,
Yep.
with baseball, it's iffy and all those things. So I salute you, sir, on your information.
All right. Salute to you, and of course, I cannot wait to see what's gonna happen at the final of the World Baseball Classic. So, salute to you, Captain Jack, and I hope you see you there next time.
You got it. Hey, thanks again, Raphael. You take
Yes,
care,
there it
buddy.
is. All right. Have a good one.
All right, that is my baseball report. And before I get to Richie Richey, I'm going to I'm going to set him up. So Gabe comes in, and this is the question: And I'm gonna try to say it smugly as if the Smugmeister himself, our Chiefs fan, would be saying this. Richie, the Giants were all in on Judy, but y'all would take a second for him? Why wouldn't you guys take it? Shaking my head. Your thoughts, Richie, and I am going to bring over Richie, and he's going to answer you directly, Gabe. You don't have to have no comments. Oh no, not a comment. You're going to hear it from the man himself. I saw that he was drinking, so I let you finish your slug. I let you finish. Get another slug in there, Richie. Whenever you're ready, I'll bring you in. Are you good to go? Yes. Okay. He was drinking his beer, and I don't want to have him come in before. I don't want to have him come in before his beer is drank or drunk well. Okay.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're good. So Richie,
Anna, how are you doing today? I have to get the niceties out of the way, Captain. Anna, how are you? Good to see you again.
Everybody wants to, and I see you growing your beard back. I like it.
Dude, it takes a day.
Screw you.
Like, it really takes a day.
If I was to take this beard off, it would take me about 6 months to grow it back to this length. Because I have crappy beard growth. Which is why I keep it like this, because if I shave it off, it just looks like ass.
So I'm going to be down in Florida by next week? My beard will be back to where it was by the time I'm down there.
Okay. Now, are you doing a show in Florida on Wednesday?
We'll see.
Okay, not that I'm trying, because Richie, do me a favor. If you're on vacation, stay on vacation. It's one show.
Yeah, well, I might have. I might actually go to see if one of the guys can fill in, and if Mundungus fills in, that'll be hilarious.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh yeah.
that would be fun if Mundungus comes in with all of us, because we all have our little too. But I don't know. Has Mundungus done a show with any of us in the past?
No.
No. See, that would be fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Get Mundungus to do the show next Wednesday.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But to answer the question, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
I personally think it's a mistake. I think that Judy has largely struggled with the Broncos, and frankly, at this point here, he hasn't really lived up to his draft pick in terms of number 10 in the first round. And if you get a second for him, the churning of talent that you get coming out of college now at the wide receivers, I think that you could spend relatively early draft capital, whether it be first or second round. Even if you spend the second on a receiver, for example, I think you could get reasonable production. The only thing I will say is Judy does have really solid route running skills, which are on display on a regular basis. But he struggled in catches, and he struggled with getting out of breaks fast enough, where he does all of the moves, but then he doesn't get out of the moves fast enough to kind of get himself in stride sometimes. He's also owned up to that publicly in some of his pressers, which I think it shows that he's having some personal growth, which is nice to see. Having some humility, which he hasn't really had to kind of suck up, if you will, in college, because he was always the best guy on the field, right? So it's nice to see him kind of understand a little bit there. But a second, I think, is more than fair given his production so far, and given the fact that he only really came on the last 3 or 4 games last year, and hasn't done a whole hell of a
I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask this through Matt because I actually had the same question as Matt.
Yep.
And Matt, I'm glad that you asked this because I think that the only reason why the Broncos signed Jarrett Stidham is to get the playbook. Because
I don't think so.
I don't see a real need for Jarrett Stidham on that team. There will be another quarterback that will be in Denver this year, and I think he's ultimately going to be the backup. And that Jarrett Stidham is there just to suck up as much. They probably said, "We're giving you $5 million. We want you to basically spit out McDaniels' playbook, play by play, and put it on paper and make a video. And then, by the way, your contract. That's all we want out of your contract. But they're honest about it because I don't really think that they signed him for anything else.
I think he's their backup, and I think that they want him to be a backup. He has proven to be a more consistent quarterback than Brett Rippon was. He's shown that he can do some things that Brett probably struggled with, likely because Brett didn't get the play time that Stidham got, which is unfortunate. And while the playbook comment may not be wrong, may not be wrong.
Yeah,
I do think that Peyton's playbook is not so out of whack to what McDaniel's playbook is like. And I think that a guy that can absorb that amount of information will do well in a Sean Payton offense. So I think the question ultimately will be, if Wilson continues to falter like he did before, the Broncos need to get a guy that can actually step in and do the job. And I think Stidham was looked at as he might not be the greatest quarterback to ever step on a field, but he's got the mental capacity to absorb a playbook and step in when he's needed. And that's, to be quite honest, if you're going to look at things in perspective, that's what you want from your backup quarterback. You want a guy that can just kind of step in and be serviceable when he's required. I would go and look at what the Raiders had in Mariota. Right?
Now, the Raiders had Mariota as a gimmick. That was to be the and actually it's stupid because the way that McDaniels likes to use those kind of like the RPO,
yep.
Even though they don't call it RPO, it is practically an RPO offense where you put the quarterback out on the move, but he doesn't want him to really run unless absolutely positively he's going to get schwacked. Then he moves because Stidham in the preseason last year he ran for like 2 or 3 touchdowns in the preseason, and it was his movement, which is what they like out of that. But then when they get a chance to do it in the regular season, of course they tell Derek Carr to do that, and Carr didn't. That's one of the reasons why Carr's not there, and that's why I said, given an opportunity, Stidham would have done well in Vegas because he knows that playbook, and I don't know why. I mean, honestly, did they say, okay, well, Denver's going to give you $10 million, 5 and 4, and about the guarantees and whatnot, but still, I don't know why the Raiders and say, okay, we'll give you 12, 6 and 5 and 1.
Right.
I don't know why.
No, and I think ultimately it comes down to is McDaniels and Ziegler following the Patriot way, which is we believe we can find another Stidham and coach him up because they've always done that. Like, let's be honest, McDaniels has been the OC for most of those Patriot churned quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo. You have there's like 2 or 3 of them that they've churned out for second round picks or second picks and more, or third round picks plus out of New England, the guys that were all behind Tom Brady. And so I think that he thinks that as long as he, maybe he's looking at this draft and already has two dudes that he thinks he can fill that gap, that he might pick up in like the 6th or 7th round. And if he believes he can get him in the 6th or 7th round and get him for a drop in the bucket compared to that, what, like, as a Vegas, as a Raiders fan, why wouldn't you go for it?
All I know is that they better sign that their backup quarterback is the most important person on that roster.
I agree.
And so I was seeing reports that they have Blaine Gabbert in to be to possibly be the backup. What are your thoughts there, Richie? I know what my thoughts are, and I wanted to get somebody else's thoughts on that.
Well, he's been ridiculed to a backup role pretty much ever since he got dethroned. He's a reasonable backup, but I don't think he's the backup that you guys need.
Guys, yeah, I agree. I agree with that last statement. He is a good backup quarterback by what he brings to the table, but I just don't think that he is the backup quarterback that would be good for that system. And unfortunately, I don't know where Brian Hoyer is, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Hoyer, if he's not on the Patriots roster right now, doesn't get a call.
I don't think Hoyer's a good enough backer for you guys either.
Well, between Hoyer and Gabbert, I'll take Hoyer because he knows the system.
He knows the system, but I think Gabbert has got a little bit more tools than Hoyer does at this point, especially given Hoyer's age, because Hoyer was always a subpar thrower of the ball in terms of arm strength and other things, generally speaking. Gabbert had a little bit more arm strength, but made worse decisions, I guess would be the more appropriate way of kind of, comparing A to B.
Right.
I actually think that what you guys need is you need a guy like, I saw Bridgewater's name brought up.
Yeah.
He would be a guy that I think would be appropriate because he's got the IQ in order to kind of step on the field and start. I think that, to be honest, it's unfortunate that Gardner Minshew's not around because he would have been perfect for you guys. He in my mind is a ringer for the type of guy that I think you guys need. Someone that has grit, tenacity, shown that he can kind of rise to the occasion. And at the end of the day, Jimmy G is almost guaranteed to be hurt. Yeah. And so the question is, how long is he going to be hurt for? And do you guys have a guy that can step in for 3, 4, 5 games if needed? I don't think Gabbert is the right guy for that type of role. I think Teddy Bridgewater is probably a better choice given the fact that he's proven to start. But I think Minshew is probably your better bet out of all of them because I think he's a better fit.
I wanted, see, that's who I wanted. I wanted Gardner Minshew to come in, but there's another name, and I want to get your shoot. I just break. Now I got it. It went in one ear and back. Okay, now it's back. What are your thoughts on Taylor Heineke?
No.
Why?
I don't think he's going to be good enough for. I think he's not proven to be a good enough quarterback to last a longer stretch. I think you need a quarterback that can be on the field for 3-4 games straight. And he has been too ebb and flow, too up and down, too just not a serviceable enough quarterback for what you guys need, given, obviously Garoppolo being your likely starter. I don't think he has been proven enough to stay on the field for 3-4 games straight or 5 games straight, depending on Jimmy Garoppolo's health, to kind of get you guys to where you need to go.
I think that Tyler Heineke, because Gardner Minshew, that's who I wanted. When the thing started to fall, I wanted Brissett, but Brissett, you guys told me last week that Brissett signed with the Commanders. I'm like, crap. Well, he
would have been better. I think he would have been your best option to come in as your backup.
And that's why I wanted him to be brought in. And I don't know what he signed with for the Commanders, but I mean, I think that would have been the best option. In fact, that was the guy I wanted. I wanted Brissett with Stidham. Those were the two that I wanted, right? So I would have taken Brissett as the next guy up, but he signs with the Commanders. So I'm like, crap. And I said, well, who else? Minshew. No, Minshew's gone. I don't know where Heineke is at, but I would take Heineke over Bridgewater only because Bridgewater is just as fragile, if not more, as Teddy Garoppolo. That was a Freudian slip, but it's true. Teddy Bridgewater and Jimmy Garoppolo are fragile quarterbacks as far as for health. So why get another fragile quarterback as your number two? I'll take Tyler Heineke. I wanted Minshew, but Minshew's gone. I'll take Heineke as that guy.
I actually think where you guys are going to go, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, is I think that they're seeing Jimmy G as a kind of a 2-year in and out sort of guy. And I think that he's going to be, I think they want him to be a mentor. And I truly believe that that's where they believe he's going to end up. I could absolutely see you guys targeting a quarterback super early in the draft, perhaps even in the first round. And look, I realize that that's not necessarily a popular opinion.
Yeah.
But I also think that McDaniels, as part of his plan, when he's speaking to ownership, you can't stay in that top 10 and not try to target a quarterback in that top 10 pick. So that's just my opinion. I think that he's going to be, Jimmy G was probably brought in and was told that they want him to be kind of the Fitzpatrick or who the heck's that other dude? He was with the Jets there. He was the guy that cycled between 3 different teams, and every year he was brought in. They then drafted a quarterback in the first, and they used him as like a guy to like train the new quarterback when he came into the team. I totally forget his name, but I could see Jimmy G being looked at to be that mentor role. I don't think that they're looking to Jimmy G to be like the long-term solution, and I could totally see Ziegler and McDaniels working to try to trade him, trade him even next year, or maybe even cut ties if it makes sense to do so. Because I don't think he has a tremendously high cap number if he cap hit if he's cut next year. And I think that also depends on the quarterback you guys bring in, and also the time that he needs to play. Let's say it's near like the middle of the end of the season. If that young rookie quarterback steps in and does very well, I could see the Raiders looking to move on from Jimmy G pretty quickly.
I mean, and I've said this on broadcast after broadcast after broadcast. Hendon Hooker or Tanner McKee as the quarterbacks of the future. Okay? I think that because McKee, and actually I prefer McKee because he's from Stanford, he's got the measurables and he's got the mind. Okay? Because he's a Stanford quarterback, which means he's not dumb. Okay? And he's got the measurables of the kid from, or not quite, the kid that plays for the Bills. What's his name? Crap. The starting Bills quarterback that's built like
Allen, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, yeah. But he's big, strong. He's got an arm on him, okay? And, hell, Josh Allen went to Wyoming, and it didn't do anything, but he had the measurables, which is why he was drafted. I think that Tanner McKee is that guy. And that's who they're looking at. And that was the information that I got. And I hope that information is correct. That's what I hope, is that if they're going to grab a quarterback, grab Tanner McKee, and if not, then go ahead and get Hendon Hooker, or go ahead and get Tune, who's out of Houston. Although I don't know a lot about him, I heard a lot of good things about him, but I have heard a lot of good things about, I think his name is Heine, who's out of Fresno State. You know, God forbid, at Fresno State in the second round, quarterback for the Raiders. I haven't seen that movie before, but hopefully it winds up better. Okay. So we'll see. But I know the Raiders are going to get a quarterback this draft. I know they are. The question is when, and I hope it's not the first pick of that they pick.
Yeah, I mean, I truly think that it all depends on what McDaniels has presented as his long-term plan. And if McDaniels is saying, I have never had a first-round pick where I've been picking high enough in the draft to get my guy, and I think I'm picking high enough now where I can get the guy that can do can get us to the next level, even if that guy might need some developmental work. That could very well be why Jimmy G is there, and I still kind of stand by that as a general statement. Whereby, Josh McCown is the guy that was with the Jets. He's that guy that kind of went team to team, kind of training the next quarterback behind him, right?
Yeah.
And so I could see them looking to Jimmy G to kind of play that type of a role. You know, the quarterback coach on the field, so to speak, right? The guy that's been there, done that, maybe not truly excelled to the level that you would have expected him to, given his pedigree and who he worked under, but having the mental fortitude and the mental capacity to pass on information because he is sharp enough to do so, even though he may not have the physical skills to allow him to get there on the field. They believe that he has the ability to transfer those skills to, say, someone who has the athleticism and athletic ability to actually do it. And that's part of the reason why I think they brought someone like him in, is at this stage, he's probably starting to recognize that his body's starting to fail him. And I could see them looking to a really athletic guy to help coach him up.
But we'll find out. Let me see.
And the Giants Chronicles, if they bench a $23 million quarterback, most teams now are paying in the $30 to $40 million a year range for a quarterback on their team. So if you have a guy making 23 mil and then a rookie making maybe 5 mil a year, somewhere in that range, picking in that top 10 range, you're still well under the league average for a starting quarterback. And then by saving, after cutting him perhaps after next year, the $9 million that are owed to him, he's still then making what would be, mediocre money Jimmy G would. And then the Raiders are then way ahead because then they're back on. They've gotten the knowledge from Jimmy Garoppolo, transferred over to the young quarterback by that point. And you're then paying a quarterback on his rookie deal. So I actually don't see this as an awful trade-off for the Raiders if they go in that direction, as long as they do so with purpose. Now, if they just wing it, then you're in some real trouble. But if they've done this with purpose, then I actually think this is a pretty smart move.
Yeah, but he's like Gabe. Gabe thinks he's the smartest kid in the room. Well, he might be the smartest kid in the room because he is the kid.
Right, but again, 18 plus 5 is still only $23 million to pay out for your starting quarterback. That's a drop. Like that's average. That's below average quarterback money.
That's actually half price.
Yeah, exactly. That's below average quarterback money, man. Like you're ahead of the game at that point. And at which point you then have a boatload of cap that you can then spend on other players to bolster your roster. Who cares?
Yeah,
it's
and
a
then
rounding
you
error.
also designate him as a post June 1st cut, and then you can split it over 2 years.
Which means then you only have that means you're only then paying Jimmy G $9 million next year plus like $5 or $6 million for a starting quarterback. Like that's a rounding error. That's couch cushion money for these NFL teams.
Right. I agree. All right, so I'm gonna ask Richie Riche that, by the way, for if you missed it, Richie Riche will be down in Florida. Hopefully I'll get a chance to have dinner with him sometime while he's down here and meet him and his kids. We'll take pictures. In fact, that'll probably I will, if it's a good enough picture, it'll be my photo for for one of the shows, just so I can say that we actually do get together. We do see each other, we do like each other, and maybe we might do a picture of us, choking each other out. But he's a lot bigger than me. So, I mean, all he has to do is just put his hand. He just puts his hand down. I got to put my hands up, okay? Because I'm only 5'11", and he's like what 6'4", right?
I'm 6'2", 230.
It's still well, maybe not 6, but I still got to put my hands up.
Yeah, I'm certainly not. No one's ever looked at me and said, "Oh, geez, you're short."
Yeah. Oh, so I outweigh you, but I'm because I outweigh you.
That might be true. I like I said, most people. I've never been called that short, except for my buddy. I got a couple buddies that are 6'6" and 6'9". They're like, "You're short." I was like,
because there was the 6'9" Mexican.
Well, I was on the air with the 6'10" Mexican. His name is Adon,
Right.
and I've never found a combined duo that are taller than the two of us as a joint podcast. We were like 13 feet tall or something like that between the two of us.
Yeah. And if Mundungus isn't available, maybe he can be.
Yeah, you never know. But I'm going to try and make it down to see you there in Florida, and we'll try to get some photos. I will be decked out in Broncos gear.
Just remind me, and I'll bring my Raider. You like that Raider jersey, though, right?
That Raider jersey was amazing. The baseball style one. That was sharp.
Right over there. It's right.
Yeah,
over there.
That was sharp. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
that was sharp.
I will try to make sure I have that available.
Yeah,
and bring it with me. But I'll have I might wear. I don't know if I'm going to wear the 3-time Super Bowl hat or the old school. I like this one. I literally got 300 hats I can pick out. So I'll figure out one. Maybe I'll give one. Bring an MHRT hat if you got an extra one.
I only have the one.
Ah, crap.
Actually, I got the old one here. This is the original one. I was one of the original crew that when we kind of first elevated. That's the original MHRT podcast hat. There's only like 4 of us on the network at the time.
Yeah, we got to keep that.
Yeah.
I need an MHRT hat.
Yeah, we'll see if I can get one down there before I arrive, but we'll see.
Okay, well that would be nice.
Yeah, we'll see.
And maybe I'll give you I'll give you a Captain Jack patch.
That's awesome. Is there any other questions on the Broncos? If you guys have any other questions for me,
if you guys got questions for the Broncos, put them up.
We'll also take questions on the Raiders. I have a few ideas for what I think you guys should be doing roster-wise.
We'll see that. I mean, if we're going to get bad advice from people that are not we're going to get it from Gabe. Because they say that why is this? Why and Gabe, I'm not saying this. This is what come with me. Why are we saying bad things about the Raiders from a person who's not even a Raiders fan? Okay, that's what they say, Gabe.
I'm not even saying bad things about the Raiders. I just think you guys have made some mistakes on your roster in the last 2 years. Now, you got Tillery, who is a very good fit for what your team needs of him.
Exactly. And Coach doesn't believe me. I said, we don't ask him to do everything that you guys did. We ask him to do 1 or 2
Correct.
things, do them well. And he does.
Correct, 100%. Now, I still think that you need to look to someone who is more like a Filon type for you guys. Someone that can get more interior pressure because I think you're missing that. You need someone to complement Crosby, for example. Matt, I do agree that you guys do need to pick up a tight end, and I think
and that was a good question. Who would you think?
If you can give me a sec, I need to see who's left on the market.
Yeah. Did they just hit a home run? See, I missed the home run. Damn it! It was a 2-run shot too. Maybe they'll show a replay. But yeah, the USA is definitely going to the next round because they're up 14-2, in the bottom of the 8th, and I don't see a Cuban 12 spot in the top of the 9th.
Well, unless I'm misreading this, you got a few options to potentially look at. So what you guys are really needing is you're needing a pass catching kind of mixed style tight end. So that would leave Austin Hooper, Cameron Brate, and Dalton Schultz is kind of like your 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Dalton Schultz. Brate's not bad, but Brate's injury prone too.
Yeah, and then you'd have I like this guy, Adam Shaheen. I really liked him. He was with Miami. I like him as a tight end as well. And then if you're looking for more of a hybrid blocking tight end, Eric Tomlinson, who was with the Broncos last year, would be a pretty decent option for you. He's a massive dude. He's like 6'6", like 280 or nuts. Like he's basically another lineman on the field.
You know, I like
But he
this
can
guy
move.
named Stafford. I think we're going to try to get him.
He's with Miami.
I know. I just wanted to say his name.
I'm being serious. I'm buying his jersey. Like with Miami, I'm buying his jersey for my dad.
For your dad.
Mm-hmm. Like for sure. But
and
I think
here's something from Jimmy Farrell. I would do this too. A second and a player for Hopkins from D-Hop. I'd do that.
No.
Why?
No. He hasn't played the same as he had with the Texans. Don't get me wrong, he's a gifted player. I think that you guys would do better to go younger and get guys on rookie deals and have them play longer as a team. And I think that you need to develop and work with guys in your system. Hopkins could fit in because he's just a gifted NFL player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm simply saying that I think you do yourself a favor by picking up a player that can work with you for more years on the rookie deal.
Okay. Well, and one Gabe thing did say again. Gabe did make a comment that is correct. His salary is probably a bit astronomical for what you would need. Yeah, so
that's what I'm saying. I think you can do.
I forgot about the salary cap. Dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're already paying. You're the number one receiver in football, top tier money.
Yeah.
And so I think you'd be better off. And frankly, I think from a Raiders broader perspective, bring in a younger guy that can learn from him. Bring in a guy that can kind of come up and kind of be mentored by the number one receiver in football, as opposed to bringing a guy who's kind of coming in polished already. I think you'd be better off bringing in a younger receiver to kind of work under and work with rather than complement. And best case scenario, the guy comes up, the wide receiver that you bring in the second round comes up and, kills it. Right? Wouldn't that be wonderful? You got two complementary receivers along with your slot guy there in Renfro.
Yeah, see, actually, I will agree with Cool Kev on that. Dorsett, the kid that we picked up in free agency, who was the first round bust for the Patriots that went to the Texans last year and then played rather well. He might be that guy who spreads the field and is that the deep threat that they didn't really have last year, because Cole was going to kind of be that guy, but he wasn't. He was. I think Cole dropped for every one pass that Cole would grab, and he got that one incredible catch against the Pats that they said was out of bounds, but really it was in bounds. I was there. He would drop 3. So, and Ed says something. Let me put this one up as well. Eric Tomlinson was with the Pats, so it's a guarantee he'll be here soon. So there you go. And he would be a bad pickup. Somebody is trying to call me. Hit the link. Don't call me. Hit the link, because again, the sound quality of the Google Voice, I just can't get it to come in.
StreamYard's a lot better. StreamYard's a lot better from getting the audio in.
Yeah, so hit the link if you want. If you want to talk to me on the show, hit the link. I put the link up there. Here, it's in there. It's in the thing. So,
I still think, Captain. I think that you're better off getting a young speed guy in the draft to complement, your wide receiver core, because Dorsett is a 1-year rental.
yeah.
And I think that you want another guy that can kind of complement the outside and really elevate that room and the wide receivers. And again, learning from the best wide receiver in football is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why wouldn't you want that as a Raiders team? And then I also think that you're going to start seeing linemen, which is an odd thing, I think, for Raiders to see picked high. But I think you're going to see linemen picked pretty high with McDaniels, because I think that he's wanting your lines to be bolstered. He wants more beef up front on both the offensive and defensive lines, because that's what he did when he was with the Broncos, to help protect a young quarterback who I think that may well be drafted in the first, begrudgingly. But I think that that's going to be the plan. That's what we saw with the Broncos. We saw Tebow picked in the first, and then 2 or 3 linemen picked right afterwards. And I could see that happening again with the Raiders. And frankly, as a Raiders fan, you should want that to play out, because all of those linemen that McDaniels picked were starters in the Super Bowl for both Super Bowls when we ended up with Manning. And they all were very, very good, and they all got second and third contracts in the NFL for the most part. So he picks linemen very well.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your input there, Richie. Have you ever met Doc Cabral?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you meet him here quickly before I usher you out the door. This way, we'll do a 3-screen. This is Doc. This is the guy that pops in and talks Patriots stuff from you. And this is Richie Riche. This is one of the few Bronco fans that I don't mind having on, because he's knowledgeable and it's not an a-hole. So that and Doc is a Patriots fan, a true Patriots fan, because he's been a fan since they had Grogan as their quarterback. So he's
Jim Plunkett, you mean?
Well, no, Grogan and Plunkett and Randy Vataha at
Oh, yeah.
Russ Francis is their tight end.
That's a
Daryl
couple days ago.
prior to his injury. Big Sam, was it Sam?
Sam Cunningham.
Sam Cunningham. The other, there was a lineman that was a Hall of Famer. I can't remember his name. But yeah, so Doc is a Pats fan, and he has good.
Richard Richey, it's a pleasure.
You as well. Good to see you.
You're a great man. I enjoy watching you guys on Mondays and Tuesdays. Is it Tuesday night or Wednesday night?
Wednesday night.
I enjoy watching all you guys. Make me laugh. You really do. Have a good time watching.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy the White North there, my brother.
It's great. It's we've had snow here in Canada for the last 3 days straight. So it's wonderful.
My best to see you, my brother. Be careful out there.
Down to Florida. Doc.
Say again.
That's why he's coming down to Florida, and we'll see each other next week.
Well, that's cool, man. Hey, man, I'll tell you what. The Patriots are having a ball right now with the Belichick and Robert Kraft going at it.
Oh, okay. Well, save that, because I want to talk about that. This is the first time hearing about it.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll talk about it. Hey,
Richie,
Richie,
hang in there, brother.
Thanks for coming in, Richie. And get with me, and you got my number as well, so you can call me up too.
Yeah, and anyone else who's joining, feel free to come over to MHRT Network if you're interested in Broncos news. It's always important to get information on your opponent when you play them, and so feel free to step over, subscribe, and obviously Wild Wild West every Wednesday.
Sure.
You can catch us live. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Later on, Richie.
Thanks, Richie. You take care, partner. We'll see you when you get down here, partner. All right, that's Richie. And so I'm not. So I got Doc. Doc gave us the teaser about. So what is up with Bobby and the Hood?
Bobby and Billy are having issues. Robert Kraft is actually being more proactive with free agency and the draft.
Okay.
Very, very active. He's out there making phone calls. He's talking to other owners and getting with their staffs. And his son, who's the president of operations, is getting with him as well. It's really interesting, Jay. And Bill Belichick trying to do damage control and take control. But Robert Kraft put him in his place. Said, "Look, if you want to play, we're going to play my way, not your way. Your way ain't working."
I like the fact that he's telling Bill, the last time I checked, I'm the guy writing the checks.
That's right, he did, and he's getting tired of losing. He lost Tom Brady. He lost Jimmy G. He lost a lot of stuff that now he's kicking himself in the ass. And I'm sorry. Oops.
No, we can say ass. It's in the Bible.
Okay. Donkey. I'll say that too. Long story short, Robert Kraft's getting very, very active with players, with getting with other managers and other owners, and saying, "Look, you're tired of being losers. I'm tired of being a loser too. Let's work this out. Let's do something together." And I think he's actually building bridges again with other owners, including, take a breath, Jerry Jones.
Ooh.
Yeah, talking to Jerry Jones again.
Okay.
The Dorsett thing is coming around because the Jaguars let him go. But the thing is, Bob Kraft wants him back.
Okay.
Robert Kraft wants Dorsett back.
I gotta see this as well. Okay. And Ed Winchell asks, Patriots interested in Lamar Jackson?
Yes, they are. Ding, 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 ding. Ed, you win.
Okay.
Yes, they are interested. The problem is, what's his name? Visconti? The owner?
No, Bisciotti with the Ravens. Bisciotti.
Yeah, Bisciotti's being a real dick. He's trying to say, well, we're not ready to. We want to work something out first, and blah blah blah. Robert Kraft will write him a check right now. He will not even think twice about it. He'll say, "What do you want? I'll write it." The problem, Biscotti's not letting him out. They're playing this game with him and saying, "Well, you know what? We'll do the open-ended thing and see what you get." The problem is he doesn't have any representation, and the Patriots don't want to deal with a player individually. They want to deal with through a manager or through a scout, whatever they call them.
An agent.
Yeah, that's what they want to have. Conti was really good with the Mannings.
Okay.
Conti, if he had Conti, he'd have no problem. He'd get him right away. But the problem is his mother is acting as his agent.
Okay.
That's what the problem is. It's kind of like, LeBron James' mom, when she walks into a restaurant, I'm LeBron James' mother, I want that table. She wants to be like that with her son, and it don't work that way with the NFL.
Okay. Now,
But Robert Kraft, he wants him bad. Reason why he likes having Mac, but the problem with Mac is Mac got a little gun shy last year because he didn't have a real offensive coordinator. Now he has Caldwell. Caldwell will get him back on track again. But the thing is, they don't want him to be gun shy. That's their favorites. Because after last year,
whoa! You mean Bill O'Brien?
Yeah, Bill. I'm sorry, Bill O'Brien. I'm sorry. Caldwell's the Raiders' president of operations, right? Or general manager. Caldwell's your general manager, right? Who's your general manager?
Ziegler.
Ziegler. I'm sorry. So, my head is all. I'm a real mess today. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, but it's been really interesting watching the Patriots.
Well, I know was the old Colts coach.
My thing is right now is to watch what they're going to do with the the draft, because the draft is going to be really interesting this year, Jay. Very interesting. There's a lot of good pieces that the Patriots want. I can tell you that. They want to get their O-line tightened up. Because last year, oh boy, wasn't good. If they can get the O-line tightened up and get some people out, flying out on the far end, that'll be good stuff for the Patriots. They like to have McCourty just retired, so he's gone. So a lot of our guys that are out there, safeties and free safeties out there, there's a lot out there this year as far as the draft go. But they'll let 6th rounders, 5th rounders. They're not going to be in the top 2 or 3. They'll mostly be in the 4, 5, 6 round area.
Okay, so I gotta ask. Okay.
Sure.
I like that. First off, I got to show this. The bucket list for 2023: have a beer with the captain.
No, I can't have a beer, Jay. Sorry.
Steve, and Doc knows that I don't drink a lot of beer.
No.
But if you're in Vegas with me, Steve, we'll have a good beer. We'll have like a draft beer that tastes good. Not any of those canned crap. Okay? Maybe a bottle, and maybe if Richie Riche is still watching the show, maybe if Richie Riche brings down a good Canadian beer.
Ooh.
We'll have that. But a good beer, I like a good Euro beer that I like is like an Amstel Light, a good. Okay, if it's light, but I don't like. Maybe a black and tan from Guinness. I don't know, but maybe a good. I like a good Norwegian or a good Belgian beer. Even a good German beer, as long as it's a good. Oh, Foster's, no way. Foster's is piss.
No.
Foster's is piss. And Ruben, if you don't believe so, ask any Australian about Foster's beer. They say it's piss. It is piss. Real Australians don't drink Foster.
No.
They don't. They don't drink, but they think it's piss. I would have, I'd even have was it Triple X Mexican beer before I would have a Foster.
No Dos Equis, no.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, rather than a Foster's, I'd still chug
no.
it. Granted, I'd hold my nose, so I wouldn't have to taste it. But yeah, Heineken's not bad.
Guinness is a good thing. If you like, when I was in Hong Kong back in '85, we had fresh Guinness right off the tap. It was really good stuff.
Yeah, a real Guinness from
a really
Europe.
good Guinness, yes.
Yeah,
and it wasn't cold; it was room temperature.
No, see, I got. That's the other thing. I gotta have cold beer. I don't like.
Oh.
I don't like the Brits having room temperature. I can't stand it. Now I do. It has to be cold. It's got to be a good cold beer.
Well, I haven't had a cold beer in about 36 plus years, JC. You'll have to excuse me.
Yeah, I know, Doc. I know. So.
And by the way, how's Lil and the family?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We're good. And any day upright is a good day.
That's a good thing, man. Right on. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we've been a little busy over here. Had to turn down a job over in Fort Gordon. I would have had to take two steps and a bunch of time and money out, so it would have cost too much.
Yeah.
I had an interview with Germany with Wiesbaden, a signal company, a signal brigade. Okay. I'll see if that works out or not. But I don't want to go back to where I was at before. Not a good move.
Well, do whatever you need to do to make it maybe not a lateral move, but definitely an upgrade. Do what you need to do to get the upgrade.
Yeah, I was actually trying to get with you over there, but McDill said nothing. It's sealed up tight.
Well, hopefully we'll see you sometime soon. Are you going to be at the draft? Because the draft is to Kansas City. It's closer,
Well, I'm in Arizona, so it's a little bit off for me.
Well, but still, it's well, I don't know why you don't come up and see me in Vegas.
Well, I need to know when you'll be there.
Most Raider home games.
I'll call, well, when you are. Look, do me a favor. Send me a schedule. I'll talk to my wife because she is a Raider fan, and I'll see about getting up there with my wife and my son.
Okay, yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be good to see you again, Jay. I mean, you're like, I haven't seen you in so long. You look funny on TV, but you definitely look funnier in person. I think you always do.
Yeah,
I love you.
For me, I'm an acquired taste.
Oh, please. I still love you like my brother, and we are who we are. And Anna Diaz and Edwin Chalo's people, love them all. Please wish them well for me. And I'll let you go. Now you're a busy man.
Yeah. Well, Doc, thanks for coming in the show tonight, Doc. We're definitely closing out with a positivity at the end too.
We love you, brother. Take care. Out.
Love you too. You take care, and best to you as well.
Bye.
All right. That's Doc. Got us good greatness. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. And again, Doc, longtime friend, over 30 years. I don't know who's calling me on my. Don't use the Google number. Hit the link. And it's kind of late now. Hit the link. I don't take Google calls anymore. I'm sorry. I don't take Google calls anymore. Because the sound sucks. So if you're calling on the Google number, sorry. What can I tell you? No, Japanese beer, no rice wine, sake. No. A Euro beer, good Euro beer. I had a decent beer in Africa. It was like where was it? Kenya? Yeah, it was in Kenya. Good beer in Kenya. Can't remember the name of it. But yeah, who knew, right? You're calling me on my Google Voice. If it's one person I said to call on my Google Voice, I don't know if they left a message or not, but don't call me on my Google, especially during the show. Okay? We will be back Wednesday for Wild Wild West. We will be back Wednesday for Wild Wild West, right? Come in for that. Maybe, I'm not promising, but maybe I'll do a show Tuesday for the championship game of the World Baseball Classic. Maybe. Not saying I will, but maybe. But Wednesday, Wild Wild West for sure. Thursday, you don't know jack about sports. Come in Thursday. Like, and share it up, please. I appreciate it. It's a Saturday night, Sunday night thing, kind of, it's off season. But I love talking. But we'll see you. Take care. Thank you. Please like. Again, no Fosters. Mickey's Big Mouth. Oh, come on, Steve. We'll have a Heineken, man. Or an Amstel. Or give me a good German beer. And thanks, Ruben. Yeah, this was for my St. Patrick's Day. I wore green for St. Patrick's Day, so I wore it Friday. I'm wearing it tonight for the show. And salute to you, Cool Kev. Again, we'll have some good drinks. I don't drink a lot, but if I'm going to drink, I'm going to have some good stuff. Take care. Maybe Tuesday, definitely Wednesday, definitely Thursday, and then we'll be back here next Sunday. Take care, everybody. Good night. God bless. Tip your bartenders and waitresses. And make comments after the show. And yes, it'll be Ruben free. I didn't say it, Ruben. Cool Kev did. Take care, everybody. We'll see you.